another edition of the Contractors' Secret Weapon weekly podcast with your hosts, Dave Negri. This program is dedicated to helping contractors, remodelers, painters, roofers, roof cleaners, and business owners in the construction industry gain an unfair advantage over the competition. This program supplies you with information that the competition doesn't even know exists. This session brought to you by ContractorsSecretWeapon.com.
Before we get into the conversation with you, I just want to do a shout out to our sponsors who help promote Contractors' Secret Weapon and just some of the things that they have in store for you, our listeners. Hey, is your phone ringing enough? Do you want it to ring more with highly motivated and qualified buyers that contact you, the contractor, directly? No more waiting for the phone to ring. Just answer that phone. Best Home Services leads are dedicated to making your phone ring with motivated buyers that call you directly. There's no obligation to talk with them. Just go to ContractorsSecretWeapon.com/money. Fill out the form to secure your discount on the setup fee. Do it today. This special will not last forever. Check them out at ContractorsSecretWeapon.com/money.
Running a small business is no easy task, and I should know because I had a service company for almost 10 years. I am the founder of a software called RadiusBomb, and it's unbelievable. And for all the listeners of Contractor's Secret Weapon, we have a special offer for you to check out. If you want to send hyper-targeted, laser-focused, super personalized postcards to your exact prospects using a map while sitting in your underwear, then go to ContractorSecretWeapon.com/RadiusBomb, and we'll give you your first 100 postcards for free. Just go to ContractorSecretWeapon.com/RadiusBomb.
Hey, this is Dave Negri with Contractors' Secret Weapon. Today, I'm excited to have everyone here, and I'm excited to have Gary Geiman with us. He's been involved in generating sales and developing marketing systems for almost 25 years, B2B, B2C. Gary, along with his brother, started their pressure washing business in the fourth quarter of 2012. And the holiday lighting vertical filed in 2014 as a way to generate revenue year-round. Utilizing planning, understanding how to dominate local search, and implementing email marketing automation has allowed them to reach $1 million annual gross sales revenue in 2017. They've begun to turn this knowledge into a passion, helping other business owners and entrepreneurs grow their businesses. Their Facebook group, which is where I found Gary, the Marketing Mafia, has over 2,200 members, learning to dominate ways to dominate their market and explode their revenue. And Gary, I just want to thank you for taking the time to be with us today and sharing your story and your expertise.
Absolutely, Dave. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm glad that you could be with us today. And we were talking a little bit about how you got started in this crazy business, and we all have starting stories, and they're kind of fun to hear other guys. That's why I like having other contractors on the show too, because we all can resonate with what everyone else did. So, how did you get started in the pressure cleaning business?
Well, so my brother's a firefighter, and as is the case with most public servants, they don't make enough money for what it is they do. And he was always trying to find that other source of income. And I was a sales and marketing manager for a consulting company in the credit world and traveled all the time, really beginning to get a lot of disdain for that job, and was trying to figure out ways to do the same thing he was doing. And we were having conversations off and on about different things. But a particular day, I'm driving in West Texas, and he calls me and says, "I have a great idea." I was like, "Me too, I got one too." So he let me go first. My great idea was carpet cleaning. He wasn't excited about that one. And his great idea was pressure washing, and I was definitely not excited about that one. So we talked for a few more minutes and really didn't have much more conversation over the next 30 days until he calls me back and said, "Guess what I did?" I'm like, "What'd you do?" Well, if anybody remembers the show Barter Kings that was going on at that time, he's one of those. He still is one of those guys, always looking for a good deal. And he had went on Craigslist and for some reason bought 2 beat up, rusted out lawnmowers, and they were on a big trailer. And his idea was he was going to fix them up and resell them. But at the same time, he found a guy on Craigslist who wanted to get in the lawn care business, lawn maintenance, cutting, that type of stuff, and needed lawnmowers. And guy had a 5.5 gallon hot, heated pressure washer, and was willing to sell it or trade it if he could find somebody to hook him up with mowers. And Jason had these 2 beat up, rusted. I mean, they were beat up is a nice word. They were rough. They were raggedy, And I'm not sure one of them ever ran. My brother was a trained mechanic, so he's able to kind of like take, spit and wire and make stuff happen. So he was able to make the one run and traded that for a pressure washing unit. And we actually used that end of 2012 all the way through the end of 13. That was the machine we used when we first got started. And it's one of those things where when I speak, I tell the people that I'm speaking to, hey, how does someone take two beat up lawnmowers and a trailer and turn it into $1 million annual revenue business, which is what we did. And if that piece right there can resonate with anybody to tell you that, you can do it. It's not anything to where we were special or different. We didn't have a rich uncle handing us cash to help us fund this. We had to bootstrap it and make it work. And we got lucky a couple times. The biggest luck that hit was early 2014, April 14th, 2014. I was fired from my job, given a 6-month severance package. So they paid me to build a business. Nice. And that's what we did. I remember calling my brother up on the 15th of April and said, guess what? What's that? I got fired. I'm all in. So I went full time. He would work he'd have 48 hours on, and then he had to go to the firehouse for 24 hours. So we together began to really grow the business in 2014. I remember 2012 we did a large sum of $8,000 in revenue. $8,000, Dave. That's
in 2012. Wow.
In 2012 we did 8,000, and I'm scratching my head thinking, man, this is going to be tough, because I always kept thinking about this business totally different than the other businesses I've been involved in. I owned a mortgage company for 9 years, was in that business for almost 15, and then working for the credit consulting company in charge of sales and marketing. My job was customer acquisition. But for some reason, I was stuck in a mode of thinking that I had to acquire customers differently than the way that I had acquired them in my past life. So we did a lot of bad things that really hurt our business, or kept us from growing, I should say, as quick as we could have. We invested in some print media because we thought, if we get a magazine ad, that's going to make our phone ring. So we got a magazine ad, and our phone didn't ring. And then we bought leads from a couple different places that it just didn't turn out for us. And the light bulb was, I was talking to another contractor in another part of the country, and kind of having this same conversation. And he had had some success, so that's why I was talking to him. And he's like, "What's your background?" And I explained what I just explained to you. He said, "Well, how did you get customers in those businesses?" And it was like he turned the light bulb on for me, and I went, "Oh my gosh!" So we got really aggressive with email marketing, utilizing email marketing in 2014 to attract commercial type customers, property managers, real estate agents, and really began to blow that business up. And then we taught ourselves AdWords, how to manage and monitor AdWords, and have become really successful with AdWords. And that conversation is what was key in helping us to get to the results that we had just this past year in 2017.
So the AdWords, perfecting your AdWords was probably, like you said, the key to growing, and you pretty much do that on a very consistent basis, don't you?
Absolutely. So like in 2017, we spent $19,000 in AdWords spend with Google, and from that spend, we produced $600,000 in revenue. So
that's a terrible return.
Yeah, it is.
I'm just kidding. You know that.
No. I know. I mean, we're excited about what we can do with AdWords and how successful we can become with AdWords. And then, we did $1 million in gross revenues in 2017, and a lot of that has come. The other portion of that has come from utilizing automation related to email marketing. And and as our world changes, I'm beginning to change that up and move into more text marketing automation and then even chat bots inside of social media such as Facebook.
Right. Yeah, I just did a nice interview with somebody on chatbots that was just blew me away when I started looking into it further, and it's just like, whoa, that can be really interesting.
Absolutely. Very exciting stuff.
Yeah, it's sort of I don't know how to say. I've been looking at it, an hour here, an hour there, but it's just blows me away that some of the stuff that can be done.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm excited for 2018 related to that. I mean, it's if you can get your customers into a chatbot conversation, that setup will take them right through the process of getting them into an automated communication funnel, so that when they're ready for your service, that information is there for them.
So that's an interesting thing that you just said, and I want to touch on that. Is that so when they're ready?
Yep.
And I know that from my speakings with a lot of guys, most people are transactional.
Right.
They want it now, but the truth is that not everyone's going to buy now.
That's correct. That's correct. So
if you're going to spend the money for a lead, then you might as well keep in touch with them until they say no or say, I already got it.
And then, Dave, even when they say no, you want to stay in touch with them because they may come back to you at some point to use you.
Right.
We've gotten really dialed in with our numbers in terms of what our conversion rate is initially. So if someone goes to our website or calls our phone and wants a quote, we know that within 24 hours, we convert 32% of those leads. And by a lead, we mean anyone that makes an inquiry. So that means if we talk to them and they tell us on the phone that they're not interested, or they call and we say that we don't do that type of work, we consider all of that a lead.
Right.
So getting to that base lead, we convert 32% within 24 hours. Now, we convert 49% of our leads into paying customers. And how we do that is through consistent email follow-up. We use Responsibid in our business, and we have it dialed in really tight in terms of our follow-up for prospects who have asked for a quote and haven't made that decision, all the way to people that have told us, you're too high, pound sand, and we still communicate with them on a quarterly basis, just in case there's a chance that they change their mind. And in fact, 6% of the people that go into a decline status in Responsibid within a 6-month period will come back for another quote. And we convert we convert a portion of those, about 25% of those, into a paying customer. So if you do the math, 1.5% of the people that we put into a decline status, they come back within 6 months and actually buy from us.
So that's like cash in a bank.
Yeah. I mean, most contractors will throw that away and not put any, scope into it. But if you gotta realize, if you're in a market, I mean, we're in the greater Cincinnati market. I have 700,000 homeowners who I'm trying to get to buy services from me. If I want to do $1 million annually in revenue, I can't let the people that tell me no every year just be gone. I want to continually market to them, just like the ones that we do services for.
Right.
Some of our services, we're only going to do them once every 3 years maybe. But I have other services inside of there. For instance, we do exterior window cleaning. We do gutter cleanings. So if we clean someone's roof, for instance, and that's only a service we're going to do maybe every 3 or 4 years.
Right.
I want to be able to get money from them on a consistent basis. So we're marketing to them every 90 days after the service, just to stay in front of them. And we're doing that with primarily email follow-up, but we're beginning to use some other tools as well by, sending them postcards, just staying in touch with them when they're ready again for our services that they hire us.
Well, here's an interesting thing that I found too, is that, like all the people that say, I already got it done, and so you continually follow up with them. But what if you took it one step further and you tagged them, they got it done, and then you just sent them a postcard? That time next year, say, hey, it's time for your annual cleaning, because they're not going to remember who did it last year.
Right.
Because that person's not keeping in touch with them.
I think you've been reading my emails.
No, I haven't.
Because
no, I haven't. We just think alike.
Yeah, that's exactly what we do. And we do that a lot in our holiday lighting business.
Mm-hmm.
If we gave them a quote, so in 12 months from that quote, hey, it's time for holiday lighting. Here's the quote from last year. When do you want us to install? I mean, that's very assumptive.
Yeah.
And for some people, it's going to be too aggressive. But I'm not marketing. I'm not trying to get the masses. I'm trying to find the 1%, 2%, 3% that are ready to use us this year that weren't ready to use us last year.
Right. And you've already got them. You've already paid for their name, their address, their phone number, their email, whatever the case may be. There's no sense in throwing it away. Just keep it and use it forever. Absolutely.
And and that's kind of what we try to get other contractors who will ask me for advice. That's one of the biggest things we try to really preach, is looking at every lead as an opportunity, even though, like you said earlier, a lot in this business and in most cleaning scenarios or contracting scenarios, very transactional. Got to have immediate gratification if you paid for it and they've said no initially, that doesn't mean it's no forever. There's going to come an opportunity, a time, and you just have to be in front of them at that time. And the way you do that is by perfecting your automation so that you're available when they're ready.
That's pretty awesome. Absolutely.
And I know you said you found us in the Marketing Mafia. We started the Marketing Mafia. It's a Facebook group in February of 2017, because we see, there's a lot of different things out there of what is available for new contractors as well as even seasoned who are trying to get to that next level. And we know we made a lot of bad decisions in our first couple years of business. And so what we're doing is we've put together a couple of different things for contractors to be able to look at and say, oh, I don't have to make those bad choices. And here's a roadmap for us to become successful. A lot of contractors in our space are single operators, and they're trying to do one of two things. They're either trying to get out of their full-time job and make their business their full-time job,
right,
or they're trying to get off the truck and hire employees. Usually if I had to guess, probably 80% of the contractors in the Marketing Mafia are in one of those two spots.
Right.
But they've been in those one or two spots for multiple years. And so everything that they keep doing isn't getting them to that next goal. And so what I decided at the end of this year was I wanted to bring a couple of different things to everybody. The first thing in the Mafia, the first thing I wanted to bring was something that was a huge game changer for us at the end of 2016, which was planning our marketing for 2017. Now, that took us being able to track our numbers in 2016, which we got really aggressive with doing, and then being able to sit down and go, okay, based on us doing these activities, what kind of revenue can we get to? And at the end of 2016, I took a week, a spreadsheet, and a whiteboard, and based on our numbers, planned out how we were going to do $1 million in revenue. And, within a couple $1,000s, we got to that.
Wow,
but it
that's
was
awesome.
because of the plan, Dave. And
and the tracking.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. And that's where contractors miss it, because too many times, and if my brother's going to listen to this, and I'm going to tell on him a little bit, but you have to have this in companies, and he just happens to be that person. And my wife is this way too. But my brother would trip over pennies trying to get to dollars. And what I mean by that is, we had the cheap version of ResponsiBid that didn't do all the tracking and all the follow-up. And I decided in early 2014, this is dumb. This is a tool that we need to be utilizing 100%. We need to pay the extra $100 a month. We did. Boom. Stuff blew up. We were using Google Calendar to track schedules and routes because it's cheap. It was free.
Right.
We had to buy the right tool for what we were doing. We wouldn't have hit where we were at without spending the money, investing in our company with the resources that were necessary. Now, my brother, being what I consider a tightwad, is good for our business, though, because he second guesses everything that I do, and I love being second guessed. And so I said that very facetiously. I hope that came across.
Right.
But it's important. It is important because it helps us to be able to plan accordingly. And just like he second guessed, he second guesses things that I do maybe to spend money. He also second guessed my plan. Hey, prove that plan to me. So like you said, I was able to take the numbers that we had tracked to show, okay, here's how we can do it. And as soon as we both were bought into our plan, then we got on that road. And I decided at the end of 2017, I want to help more contractors get to that point. So our marketing planning, very important for people to understand. So we had, we do some Facebook Live. We do a lot of Facebook Lives in the Mafia, to where it's teaching other contractors how to do what's necessary to hit their goal, whether it be full-time in the business or get off the truck, add employees, whatever that goal is, we want to help them hit that goal. So marketing planning is huge. Knowing your numbers, huge. Being able to set up effective email marketing campaign funnels, massive. Teaching AdWords. And so we came out with a couple series that we've done, that we've recorded. One is our Dominate series, and that's kind of our goal and our focus and our mantra for 2018. Not only do we want to dominate our market, we want to teach and help other contractors to dominate their markets, and by doing that, achieving the goal that they want for their business. Because we all start out with the dream. We all start out with that dream of what we want. But unfortunately, as we hit roadblocks, and I totally get this, we went through it. As you hit roadblocks, all of a sudden, the dream keeps getting cloudier. And all of a sudden, after we've hit so many roadblocks and that cloudiness has taken away the sunshine, we don't see the dream anymore. We just see a lot of work that we don't like.
Right. You get fed up. So,
absolutely.
So let me ask you this. So we've got a few more minutes. What re-energized you?
I think the big thing
we all go through that. I mean, everyone feels like they get beat up, and they come home, they're exhausted. Do I really have to do this? And like you said, the cloud gets dark. But what was one of the things that re-energized you, got you thinking, or got you repassionized?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that re-energized me is probably the end of 2015. Was I had to make a decision. Is this what I wanted to do? Is this? Am I going to be all in? Because I think at the end of 2015, we did about $270,000 in revenue. We had me and my brother, and we would pull a part-time employee every once in a while. And I just wasn't into. I didn't want to be pulling a pressure washing gun much longer. Right. I mean, I was 43 years old, I think, at the time, and I was over that piece of it. So I had to look in the mirror and say, is this what I want to do? And I'm pretty sure that it involved a conversation with my wife where I was probably on a ledge and she had to pull me back off that ledge and get me refocused. But in getting refocused, I realized, you know what? The conversation I had in the spring of 2014 about that other contractor turning the light bulb on for me. Hey, look, we can grow. This doesn't have to be a $250,000 business. This can be a legacy for our family.
Right.
And so that is really what got me re-energized, was creating a legacy for our families, for my kids. I have adult sons who actually work in the business now. My brother has younger children, but we grew up with not a lot. And so we want to change that for our family. And so the re-energizing came from deciding this is going to be a legacy. We're going to build something that everybody in our family can be proud of, and we leave something for future generations.
Cool. So you just got to, really, you got down to singleness of purpose. I'm going to do
Absolutely.
it. I'm gonna
Absolutely.
Do it.
Yep.
And I think that sometimes we get, well, we're all guys, and we all get that shiny syndrome, that shiny nickel syndrome.
Right.
And the grass is always greener on the other side. We always look at that, and then we switch, and we found out, dude, they took the grass with them.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But yeah, if you're gonna take the time to learn a trade, learn an industry, and then I remember it was a conversation of a guy. He was in a trade. Matter of fact, he was a carpet cleaner, and he was sitting down and he was talking to this very wealthy real estate guy, and he was just wishy-washy about his business, and all this other stuff. And he was asking the guy, how can I become a real estate agent like you? And the guy goes, you can't. And he goes, what do you mean I can't? He goes, you haven't decided in your life what you want to do. He says, if you're a carpet cleaner, then figure out how to do it, because you're going to continue the rest of your life learning something. What you're doing now, learn it to the best of your ability, get profitable at it, and you can have more money than I have. And he said that was monumental to him at that time, because it goes back to just what you said, singleness of purpose.
Right. And a lot of times we get lost in that, and always, like you said, looking for the next best thing when you might have the next best thing right in front of you. You just have to figure out how to make it the best thing.
Right. Cool. I'm taking a bunch of notes here. So this has really been awesome. Is there anything that we got a couple minutes left? Anything that on the back of your mind you wanted to share with the audience, and then I'll ask you another question after that.
Like I said, to bring home the fact of figuring out what it is that you want for your business, and then going after it. And that's really why we've determined that 2018 is going to be the year that we dominate. And hopefully we help a lot of contractors dominate with us, but we want to dominate our market. Does that mean we're trying to, destroy our competition and do all of that? I mean, our goal is to dominate our market, not worry about competitors or anything like that. But when I say dominate, I want to make sure that every customer that wants a service that we provide, they know about us. And in doing that, making sure that we provide excellent service back to those customers.
Right.
And so in helping contractors understand that motivation of getting in front of all of those customers, I mean, that's my purpose for 2018. I think our biggest accomplishment for 2017 was putting some systems in place to remove me from the operations of our exterior cleaning business, so I can focus on the marketing side for the cleaning and marketing and assisting other contractors and helping those contractors get in line with their purpose of what it is they want to achieve. And a lot of times it means that they have to dominate their market if they want to get to that next level.
Right. They have to do, and I agree with you on that. I know a lot of guys say, well, dominate your market, crush the competition. Don't worry about the competition. That's not the problem. If you become your best, if you become, and I like to say, you become the expert in your marketplace, you become the celebrity in your marketplace, then your competition is not going to be, you're going to be standing so far above the crowd that the people are going to pick you because of the brand that you've built.
Right.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Cool. So, Gary, how can our listeners get in touch with you, get a hold of you?
The best way to get a hold of us, we have a website for other contractors who are interested in taking advantage of some of the marketing that we teach, and the website is www.salvonow.com. And I'm a big word guy, and salvo is a French and Italian word. It's a military term that means you shoot every gun that you have right now. Generals would yell out salvo, and they would shoot every gun they had right then. And that's what we want to teach contractors to do. Shoot all their guns, get those customers to come to them. But you can check us out, salvonow.com. If you're interested in dominating your market, we have a series on that along with some other things, and you can contact me through that site.
Cool. Awesome. We'll put all that stuff in the show notes. This has really been awesome. Can I put the Facebook group on there too?
Absolutely. Marketing Mafia is a place where we want all contractors to come and check out all the awesome free stuff that's in there.
Awesome. This has really been great. Gary, thanks so much for sharing with us today, and I'm excited on what you're bringing to the marketplace.
I appreciate the time, Dave. Get warm in Florida.
Yeah, I will. Again, I want to thank you for joining us and investing your time with us today. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode, and if you did, go to iTunes and give us a shout-out. You can also go to our website, www.contractorsecretweapon.com, and check out today's episode and leave us a comment in the bottom of the page. And if you haven't gotten your 15 secret weapon strategies to getting higher-end customers, get it while you're at the website. Also, I want to thank again our sponsors for keeping this podcast alive, for your profit-making pleasure. And so go be profitable this week. Work smarter, not harder, and learn how to leverage your time and your knowledge so that you can be more profitable. Again, see you next week.
Thanks for joining us for another weekly episode of the Contractors Secret Weapon Podcast with Dave Negri. We would love to hear your comments about this episode, so visit us online at www.contractorsecretweapon.com and let us hear your thoughts. If you are listening via iTunes, please leave us a positive review. The more positive reviews we receive, the more other contractors will benefit from this show. Thank you, and see you next time here on the Contractors Secret Weapon Podcast.